So, Rick. Good morning, my friends. How's everyone this morning? I hope you're all well. We are back here after 27 weeks. We've done 27 weeks of recycling, and so we're on the downside here. And just to review, this is a 1,000-pound challenge for the year 2023, where I am recycling and reusing things from my garden that would normally get thrown away, get put out in the trash. Not recycling, because I do recycle the bigger things, metal cans and that sort of thing. Anything recycling, the plastic containers that we would use, that all goes out in recycling. This is strictly things that will go back into the garden. Excuse me, just 1 minute. Let me get a. And those things include my fruit and vegetable peels. I just realized that I don't have it, so hold the phone just 1 minute. I'll talk to you as I'm going to the freezer, because I want you to see the difference in frozen food. This is my frozen food that we put into the worm bin, or it could go into your compost pile. This was frozen and thawed and then refrozen, and this one was from yesterday, and you can see it's a banana peel. But I also want you to see my friend Jane over at Rock and Worms turned me on to dehydrating. I have a dehydrator that I use for my moringa leaves, and she mentioned that she gets too much fruit at one time and she doesn't have a place to put it in the freezer, so she dehydrates it. And she's dehydrating, like the fruit and all, because somebody's bringing her spent fruit that's overripe. In my case, it's just the two of us, so it's basically banana peels and then strawberry tops, which you can still see the red. And then she pulverizes it, and she puts one of these desiccant little things in it, and she can go ahead and store that. So I think that was just a brilliant idea, because if you have it like this is probably maybe 2 ounces, but it's well over a pound that's condensed down in size. Now you really have it together. And if you wanted to, take it and put it in your rainwater, and it will rehydrate as you're giving it to your worms, or you're putting it in your compost pile. You could probably sprinkle it in your potting soil, and any of the microbes that are in your potting soil would just have something to eat. The bacteria would have something to eat. So anyway, fruit and vegetable peels, my eggshells, my shrimp shells, coffee grounds. I don't have them here, but my tea bags, any of the tea bags, your filters, of course, can go as well. One thing this is new that I just put out, these are my cranberry hibiscus. I grow cranberry hibiscus, and I grow it, the blooms are beautiful. They're kind of like a real deep mauve-y color. And you can eat the leaves. You can also eat the blooms, but if you want to make a hibiscus tea, the cranberry hibiscus leaves are really intense, and if you eat the leaf, you're tasting it, and boy, you get that kick of cranberry. So anyway, if you can get a hold of some seeds or what have you. So my leaves didn't look very pretty, and I needed to trim them. And instead of taking those trimmings and putting them out for our Wednesday pickup for our lawn care, they come on Wednesdays. People will cut their grass or do the trimmings, and then our development, we have a separate day where they pick those up. And instead of that, I'm going to take these, and I could have just put them in my outside compost pile, but what I wanted to try was to dehydrate those a little bit, and then again crumble them and have something else that I can add to my worms, because I raise worms. So if you do, then it's an extra food, and it's probably, I would think, an extra nitrogen. Or if you're adding if you want to think of the carbon that you're going to add into your worm bin. But I mean, as far as nutrition, I would think it would add something for your worms. It would be good for them. Any of your paper towel rolls, your toilet paper rolls, anything in the carbon line that goes like that. I have a regular shredder. I don't have the microfiber, but mine come out like this, and I think that's pretty good. That's one of those corrugated cardboard. I've started mixing some of the lighter stuff with it, because if I give it to the worms and I give them just paper, then it clumps. If I give them some cardboard with a little bit of paper in it, it gives it volume, and they can take that down. We save our grass clippings, and as you know, my neighbor Brian brings me his, and I think I need to start Brian on his own goal, because he's really, he's really kicking it. My vacuum cleaner, any dust, any dirt, anything like that. Sandra, Nana's Worms, mentioned cookie crumbs from the cookie jar, and I thought, well, I don't have a cookie jar, and but if you do, crumbs could be thrown into your worm bin if you have it, or your compost pile. Your toaster, I don't think of those things because it's such a minuscule weight that I'm not really weighing anything like that. And at 73, I've been doing this since I left home, because I watched my parents clean up and do things like that they always emptied their toaster, they always emptied things like that, but they emptied it into the trash can. So in the days before we had plastic bags, you had your paper bag if you were lucky. And so you get into habits. If we can just get back into those habits of taking things that would have gone into the trash and putting them either into a compost pile or putting them into your worm bin, that would be absolutely wonderful. Dryer lint if you're doing cotton fabrics, any of your stale cereals, your crackers, any of this sort of thing, all can go into your compost pile. And my rice, I've learned that if you take the rice and you're rinsing it, the water that comes off of that does have a lower NPK, the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but it's something. So if you rinse it and then you either give that to your houseplants, or if you have it, put it in your watering can, whatever, it'll go out. I didn't bring out my cans of corn and peas, but I have been taking those, and when I drain them, I also put that in my watering can, and I water my plants with it. And I have to say, I'm noticing everybody's looking a little perkier. And doing this with my pentas are blooming beautifully this year, and I have stopped using time-release fertilizers. So I thought I would have had a real dieback or problem with it, but I don't seem to. If you want to make your own organic fertilizers, if you take your banana peels and soak them in water, they will be high in potassium, and you can get more blooms that way. That's a really good idea also. So I think without further ado, we'll make this a short one today. Our friend Brian brought us 41 pounds of grass clippings. That was great. I was able to top dress a lot of my area outside that I've put, I put cardboard down, not to plant on top of it, but if I've already planted something, I put cardboard around it, and then I put about 2-3 inches of grass clippings, and that really holds it. We have our rains and we have our irrigation, and that water gets down to those roots. I leave a little bit of a collar, and of course, leaving that little bit of a collar, I get weeds in that, but I'm only weeding this small amount versus everything, and it holds the moisture. We're already in the mid 90s, and if we don't get a rain, it is hot, and our humidity is in the 80 to 90% range outside. Even inside with the air conditioner on, we're at 45 to 48% inside. So for those of you who live in drier climates, you think that we're you think you have a hot day and it's 90 and you go, oh my God, oh, the dew point says 100, and we just kind of chuckle because we have a long summer. Our summer's hitting in April and May, and it's November, we're still having hot days. So not as intense as September and October, I'm sorry, as August and September. But anyway, so Brian brought us 21 pounds, and we had a good 18 pounds. So it came out to 59 pounds, 1 ounce. And we're real close. We got up to 796 pounds, 12.3 ounces. So we're going for 1,000 by December 31st, and I'm feeling pretty confident that we're going to make that. And so that's it. I hope you guys will watch. I hope you'll watch the whole thing. I will let you know about the leaves, because I think that's a great idea. If you have a dehydrator, if not, now I could let these sit out in the sun, but I'd have to go out and make sure they were sitting in the sun, because we sometimes get afternoon rain. So I would be ferrying back and forth, and plus the humidity would take days for it to dry. Whereas my nifty dehydrator that I bought is a charm. So anyway, I'll say happy Sunday. This is the 9th of July, and we're cruising right along. I hope everybody's having a great summer, and you're doing all the fun stuff that you should be doing. We just went through 4th of July, and it was cool. It was safe. Nobody, I don't mean it was cool, but I mean it was like cool. And nobody was hurt. Nothing happened. My eyes have cleared. My bruises have cleared from falling. I was attacked by wasps a week and a half ago. That seems to be clearing up. I found the wasp nest. It was it was in the back, the black railing that we have. They had actually, the top railing is a piece of metal that's like this and sits like this. And they had actually gotten up in there and made a nest. And I happened to go along and reached over to throw something and touched the fence with my arm, and bam, they came out and attacked my arm. I thought it was further on down, so after icing myself, I went out and sprayed it with, not Raid, but it's a wasp killer that shoots like 12 feet. And I hit a particular area, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I guess they're not there. I didn't realize it was about 3 feet up. I found where it was, and so I think I've gotten them all. So that's my little sad story, my happy story, and I hope everybody has a great week, and I hope to see you next week. I hope you'll subscribe, ring the bell, and watch for more, because I have loads for you to watch. Take care, everybody, and garden what you've got. Bye-bye.